Blue jays belong to a family of birds that have been found in fossils more than 25 million years old, a large group of birds called corvids. Corvids are considered to be the smartest birds on the planet, often referred to as feathered apes. And although wild blue jays have not been observed using tools in the wild like some crows have, such as the Caledonian crow, captive jays have been observed using strips of newspaper to rake in food from outside of their cages. There is no doubt that blue jays are very clever birds, and they are full of personality too. Indeed, many people find this boisterous bunch quite comical. Smaller than a crow but larger than the American robin, blue jays measure on average about 30 centimeters in length from bill to tail. They have a broad rounded tail, a thick black beak, and black legs and feet. Physically, there's no difference between jays of opposite sex. Females are just as blue as males. However, males tend to be larger than females, but this is hard to notice unless a pair is viewed up close, and even then it may prove difficult. The plumage of blue jays is a beautiful blue-gray and sometimes lavender with a white and gray belly and breast. Unique bold black markings on their face, neck, and head, as well as a distinct crest, the crown of feathers on their head, help to distinguish them from other similar-looking jays, except maybe its close cousin, the Steller's jay, who looks like a blue jay that has been dipped into ink. It is thought that the black markings on their face and neck helps the blue jays recognize one another. A stunning mosaic of blue colors in their wing feathers shimmer in the light, truly an eye-catching bird. Their gorgeous blue color isn't made by pigment though, like it is in other colored birds. The blue we see is actually created by how light interacts with the unique microscopic structure of the feathers, which absorb the long wavelengths of light, red and orange, and reflect back to our eyes the shorter wavelengths, blue. Backlighting one of their feathers reveals their true color, if you will. This is known as structural color. It doesn't mean they aren't blue, obviously, after all that's what we see. It just means that how they get their blue color is different from a red cardinal or yellow goldfinch. This kinda makes blue colored birds more interesting and pretty neat. These beautiful blue jays look quite different during their molt in July and August though. All of their head and neck feathers fall out simultaneously, resulting in a vulture-like look. It's not understood why they molt in this way, but other birds such as cardinals and grackles do too. After roughly 2 or 3 weeks, all the feathers have grown back. The range of blue jays is a large one, found living anywhere from southern Canada all the way to Florida and Texas. Common in much of eastern and central North America, blue jays are gradually extending their range to the northwest. Most northern birds head south for the winter and join in large flocks of up to 250 birds to make the long journey. However, this migration is a bit of a mystery to scientists. Some birds winter in all parts of the blue jay's range, and some individual birds may migrate one year and not the next. It is unclear what factors determine whether each blue jay or family decides to migrate. Blue jays can be found in deciduous and coniferous woods, but they prefer mixed forests and especially ones with beech, hazel, or oak trees. The diet of blue jays is quite varied. In winter, they eat mostly a vegetarian diet, nuts, seeds, acorns, and berries, most of which were likely harvested during fall and hid into the trees and ground to be consumed over the winter season. Their habit of stashing food away has been credited with spreading oak trees after the last glacial period because they don't remember all of the acorns they've cached. The ones that get left behind may grow into a beautiful tree. During spring and summer, they eat mostly animal matter such as insects, earthworms, spiders, and small dead creatures like shrews. Blue jays have a gular pouch or throat pouch that can hold anywhere from 3 to 4 acorns, 1 to 2 whole peanuts, and as many as 100 black oil sunflower seeds. This food is then carried off somewhere else where they hide it away for later feeding. If a jay notices another bird watching as it hides food away, the jay will pretend to hide the food and then go somewhere else to store it away. Most people are familiar with the jeer call blue jays make. In fact, a lot of people don't like that call because of how loud it is, but blue jays make so many different calls, some of which are quite soft. These softer calls are made between pairs while foraging together or tending to nestlings, and also when with other jays. One of their calls, nicknamed the squeaky gate call for obvious reasons, is another common call of theirs. While making the squeaky gate, the jay bobs up and down, which looks pretty comical. There seems to be two versions of this call, one made only by males and the other by males and females. The male version may be related to defense of territory or space or dominance over another male. There is one call blue jays use that is definitely only made by females. It is known as the rattle call. Usually the female bobs up and down while making it. It is used when other jays intrude on a pair's space. Blue jays can also mimic other birds, especially birds of prey such as red-shouldered hawks, merlins, and sharp-shinned hawks. People have also reported hearing blue jays mimic the meow of a cat and cell phone ringtones. These jays are pretty social birds. In fall and winter, a group of half a dozen to a dozen birds can be seen foraging together. Hanging out in a group like that can help young and single jays find a mate and also keep an eye for predators. In spring, one female jay can be seen surrounded by a few male jays competing with each other. The one quietly observing the male is the female. After some time watching, she will take flight with all the males chasing behind her. When she chooses a male, he will shower her with food offerings, cementing their bond and showing her he has what it takes to take care of their future young. They'll rarely be more than an earshot away from one another. Unless something happens to one of them, this union is one that will last their entire lives. In April or May, the pair starts a nest. Twigs, grass, and such are collected by the male and female to build the nest, which is typically constructed in the crotch or thick outer branches of a deciduous or coniferous tree, usually 10 to 25 feet above the ground. Young females may build several practice nests before settling on one. If any predators should come by their nest site during this time, the pair will abandon it and start over someplace else. When the nest is completed, the female will begin laying eggs, which can be anywhere from 2 to 7. Only she incubates them. During this time, her mate provides almost all of her food. Around 17 to 18 days later, the eggs hatch. For the next week and a half to 2 weeks, the female broods them, with the male providing food to her and their nestlings. After this period, the female helps with food gathering, but the male continues to provide more food to the young than the female. Roughly 20 days after hatching, the nestlings leave the nest together and will remain with their parents anywhere from a month to 2 months before being fully on their own. This is when they join other juvenile jays, and for the most part stick together until the next spring. However, some individuals may decide to stay with a mated pair on their territory for the winter, perhaps the pair's offspring from that year. The average life of a blue jay is 7 years, but as discovered from banding records, many individuals live to be as old as 10, 12, or 15 years. The 7-year average comes from the high mortality rate of younger jays. Incredibly, in 2016, one wild banded jay was found that had lived for almost 27 years. Captive jays have easily lived to be 15, 20, and even 26 years old. If a young blue jay can make it past its first year, it may live for many years after. Kinda makes you wonder how old some of the jays are that visit our backyard feeders. I hope you enjoyed this video about those silly old blue jays and maybe even learned a few new things about them. Thanks a lot for watching. Happy birding!